Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics. And so it is being reported that Labour has changed its tune regarding a public vote after the disastrous EU elections. But has it? Well, first of all, let's talk about something else. There's a by-election in Peterborough soon, and Jeremy Corbyn would really like me to make the 90-mile trip to join him in campaigning to prevent another fiasco with the Brexit Party favourites to take the seat that Labour would really like to retain. Now, the email reads as part of it, "You can stop this from happening, Philip." What? Little old me. Sure, there's nothing you can do about it, Mr. Corbyn, like, I don't know, getting unequivocally behind a public vote as your first preference, with Remain on the ballot, of course. Because were I even tempted to make a roughly 200-mile round trip this weekend for a party that, if it applies its policies consistently, actually wants to expel me? What would I say to the public of Peterborough? Can I tell them that Labour is more Brexity than the Brexit Party? No, of course not. So the Leave supporters are a lost cause. Can I tell the Remainers in Peterborough that Labour is the party of Remain? Well, I could try, but I'd be laughed at. And I'll be honest, it's a lot more easy and more comfortable being laughed at on the internet here than to make a long journey to our folk in Peterborough do it. But you may be forgiven for thinking that Labour have had a change of heart after the disastrous EU elections, following on from almost as bad a result in the local elections, where strongly Remain parties have made all the gains in both of those elections. After all, hasn't it been reported that Labour has changed its stance? Yes, I saw those reports too. The problem is that Jeremy Corbyn hasn't at all. All those reports seem to be saying is that yet more senior Labour MPs are now back in another referendum where they weren't before. Emily Thornberry already got behind the idea before the EU election. She already knew what was going to happen. And now John McDonnell is saying the same. He seems to be saying the same. I'd still prefer it if he was clear about what he's backing, that he means a referendum with Remain as an option, because I don't think I've seen him say that. But he is now getting behind the idea of a public vote, not as a last chance saloon, but as a matter of course. But from Jeremy Corbyn himself, there has been no statement of a change of heart. No quotes in the media and no email from him, which Labour members would expect if there were a change of policy. There is also a lot of pressure from members. A lot of us have written in to Labour to ballot all members on the issue, rather than just rely upon polls, which keep saying that there's about 80% of us want him to get behind that. Let all members have a vote on it, then it's unequivocal. In line with the way he said Labour policy should be decided. He himself said that. But Corbyn has refused. He's also turned down the idea of an extraordinary general meeting to debate and vote on the issue before summer, before the end of June. In short, Corbyn is still refusing to get behind the public vote. But people get so excited when he even uses the words. I remember the first time people tried to tell me he'd gotten behind the idea. I'd been saying for the longest time that he was always going to renege on his promise based on the conference vote last year. People said, no, he's done it, he's got behind a public vote. Everyone was very excited, but it wasn't the case. He hadn't at all. There are just so many people that want to see Corbyn succeed, and they so desperately want to believe he will finally do the right thing that he knows he just needs to dangle the carrot in front of them. He keeps them mesmerised like a creepy Pied Piper of Hamelin. Every time he even mentions a public vote, he gets thunderous applause. He can't get a word in edgeways for like 2 whole minutes. At his rallies, everyone just bursts into applause. But he's not using the words as is something he's going to adopt as policy. He's just saying, yeah, maybe if I can't get this long list of things done, which I haven't been able to get done, then maybe I'll come to this. And massive applause. But he doesn't get behind it. And he never will unless someone puts a knife to his back. And even then, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's possible to force an idealist to do anything. And for those who think he'll be persuaded before next week's by-election, think again. The party chairman has today attacked Remainers in the party. So he's basically attacking 80% of the party. Something he would not have done without Corbyn's approval. In the continued effort to divide the party for reasons best known to themselves, Ian Lavery has said that Labour members are sneering at ordinary people. Because, setting Labour up as a party that sneers at ordinary people is bound to pay dividends at the ballot box, isn't it? And setting Labour member against Labour member is also a great way to heal the Brexit wounds, isn't it? He also came out and said he was opposed to a public vote. So even if Corbyn is too afraid to be clear on the subject, and I think he's been pretty clear, his mouthpiece has today spoken. And he would never have uttered those words without Corbyn's approval. Never. So Corbyn is still acting like the dictator of the party, doing and saying what he likes. But like all dictators, he's not really forcing others to accept it. Any leader always leads by consent. And the majority of members are letting him do it. You know, he's not holding a gun to our heads. Some are justifying it in the same way that he is, by arguing that, yes, people are suffering, but it's for the greater good. We've got this, you know, promised land is coming. We've just got to suffer for it in the meantime. Some are just blindfolding themselves and doing that to whatever he's doing and saying, pretend it's not happening. Like expelling Alistair Campbell yesterday for voting Lib Dems. But as someone reminded me yesterday, I'd completely forgotten about this. Kate Hoey, who's a Labour MP, has not only said that she would be voting for the Brexit Party, she also took part in campaigning with Nigel Farage. She said that she was going to vote for the Brexit Party. She was going to support the Brexit Party in this and all future elections. She also took part in a rally with Nigel Farage where she helped mock Jeremy Corbyn. No danger of her being expelled from the party because she's a Brexiteer. So intent is Corbyn on making sure we leave the EU that he has sacrificed his party in the local elections, in the EU elections, and now he's about to do it in the Westminster election. Because he refuses to say the line, that's all he has to do, one line, that at least 80% of Labour MPs are willing him to say. And he's going to lose yet another seat potentially, only this time it won't be to a resignation, but potentially to the Brexit Party. Hopefully it won't happen, just because a poll says there's a good chance of it. Hopefully whoever goes out campaigning can somehow persuade the folk of Peterborough to still vote Labour, but he's risking it. He knows how he can win that by-election and he's not doing it. And he may see another victory for Farage as actually a good thing, because it moves momentum towards his desired Brexit again. And all he wants to do is leave the EU, but without his fingerprints on it. So I'm afraid Labour, despite the fact that it seems to me that almost all senior Labour MPs now are behind a public vote, the one that counts is not. And is making it clear is not with his henchmen. So, hope you found the video interesting, if a little disturbing. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for further content. Until next time, I'll see you later.